Hi, I'm Trish, and I thought I would share with you today my experiences with living with someone, loving someone who has BPD, borderline personality disorder. It's a mental illness. Unfortunately, the person that I'm with has no idea, no clue, or doesn't even want to acknowledge the fact that he has this disorder. I've been studying it, reading about it. I'm in a online counseling session for it, so I know it's real, and I know that what I'm experiencing is absolutely 100% real. Um, if you are with someone that has BPD, you tend to find yourself questioning yourself and thinking that you're crazy and that this cannot be true. The thought process of these people is so delusional that you get caught up in it. It's a push, pull, love you, hate you, black and white world. My relationship with my boyfriend of 2 years is toxic, to say the least. Unfortunately, I have a son. Well, actually, I have two children. My children are from a previous marriage, and my boyfriend has been living in my home for almost 2 years. And like anything, he is as sweet can be. When he loves deeply. But um, being with him is the most difficult aspect of my life. My son, who's 13, has Asperger's and ADHD, so I deal with that already. My daughter, who's 15, also has borderline personality disorder. She was a cutter, and she suffered, and good for her. At her young age, she came to the realization that she is BPD, and she copes. She has found ways through her art, through her music, that when she feels stressed, she feels unloved, she feels like she wants to hurt herself, she's found that her art and her music help her cope. God bless her for finding out at a young age that she has this disorder, because it can absolutely 100% ruin your relationships and be a detriment to your life and the person you're with. So I have been with my boyfriend for almost 2 years. And like any relationship, it starts out, with butterflies and sugar plum fairies. As the relationship progressed and a reality set in, I've been a single mom for 10 years, so I have raised my children my way alone. And bringing someone in isn't exactly the easiest thing to do, but I trust this man because he is a good man. He's a good man. Uh, as of late, it has gotten extremely toxic, to the point of not just emotional abuse, but now it's become physical abuse on his part. He has physically abused me in front of my son. Knowing what I know about BPD, I have learned my own coping skills for the last year and a half to not engage with my partner when he's in his, what I like to call, BPD episode. He's an alcoholic, he drinks, so when he drinks it gets beyond my absolute control, and I basically withdraw. I don't respond. I don't talk to him. For a BPD, that is probably acid for them. It is the worst thing that you can do, because they're the first thing and the main thing that they need in their life is to know that they are loved. They want constant reassurance. They want constant affection, constant, unrealistic love, and to be told 24 hours a day. They want to be shown. And honestly, as a single mom, as a woman who works, as a woman who's taking care of a son, I can't give that to him. I will never, ever be able to live up to these um, expectations. They're not realistic to me. If you love someone and you're a partner to them and you are going to work and you're sharing bills and you're cooking and you're cleaning and you're having fun at times and you're working together in projects and just living your life, not cheating on the other person, not physically or mentally abusing them, to me that's reassurance enough that that person is your partner. They love you. You've made a commitment to them. You're not going anywhere. I personally don't need someone to tell me 24 hours a day that they're in love with me. I don't need someone to give me constant affection. Here lies the problem for myself and my partner. There is constant he needs constant reassurance. And when I say constant, it is to the point of, he is now at the point where he is comparing the love that I have for my son and the affection that I show to my son with him. This happened yesterday, and I tried to, after a tumultuous weekend, mind you, of him being drunk and saying these erroneous accusations of, they live in their own world, and it's a world that you cannot fathom. You cannot, it's unrealistic. It does not exist. It's twisted. Everything that you say is twisted around, and unfortunately, I love this man, but it has become a detriment. No matter what I say, it will be taken the wrong way. And he has said such vile things to me about me being a bad mom, and that my child is messed up because of me. If you love someone, if you truly love someone, you don't say derogatory things to them. He says I do that to him, but I can assure you I don't. So after a tumultuous weekend of him grabbing me and pushing me into a wall in front of my son, and me cowering in a corner crying because I've been abused my whole life, that one smidgen of abuse puts me over the edge, and I withdraw, and I'm in a corner and don't come near me because I'm a mess. So after the tumultuous weekend, it was my birthday. He forgot my birthday. I didn't say anything to him. And then, of course, he put it back all on me that it was somehow my fault. Yesterday, he asked me specifically this question, and I'm befuddled, to say the least. And maybe I'm looking for an answer. How do you respond to a grown 47-year-old man who says this? How can you give your son love and affection when he is so disrespectful to you? You don't do that with me. You withdraw from me. And I tried to explain to him in a very positive, calm way that a parent's love for a child is in no way in the same realm as a love that I have for him. It's not even comparable. I don't withdraw. Parents can never or should never withdraw their love and affection to their child if their child is bad or says something wrong or makes a mistake. Parents and children have an unconditional love. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is for me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. He's comparing the love I have for him for the love I have for my child. These are the kinds of twisted thoughts that I deal with on a daily basis. If you're wondering if you're in a borderline personality relationship with someone, there are signs to look at. Simply, and by no means am I an expert or a doctor or a psychologist or anything. I can tell you just firsthand, living with a BPD, and he's not the only one. You'd think I would have learned from the previous relationship. BPDs have a narcissistic tendency. What does that mean? That means that they tell you they love you. They will profess their undying love to you on social media, to the outward world. People will assume that this man or this person is madly crazy in love with you. And in a way, they are. They truly are, in their own little twisted way. They are in love with you, but they want you to conform. They want you to be a certain way. They want you to give them, fulfill their needs, and if you don't, then you are just an awful person. So how can you love someone and hate them at the same time? But that is how the relationship is. It's love and hate. It's black and white. They can love you one night so passionately and lovingly because you gave them what they needed. If the next day comes around, 24-hour period comes around, and maybe you're having a bad day, maybe you're tired, maybe you are depressed, maybe you are exhausted, because their relationship, being in a relationship with the BPD is exhausting, to say the least. Exhausting. It's constant work. It's constant walking on eggshells, constantly knowing what to say, what not to say, when to say it, how to say it. Is it going to be the wrong thing? What is going to be the reaction? That's how I live my life. So the black and white situation. So one night, one day, he can love me and adore me and think I'm the best thing on the earth. And the next day, I could be the most awful person in his life, where he spews out hate and vile words and derogatory things, that it becomes an abusive, emotional relationship, a roller coaster, and I'm exhausted and I don't want to do it anymore. I'm in courses where I'm learning how to cope, learning how to survive, learning how to stay. In my heart, I don't want to stay. In my heart, I want the relationship to end. Logically, I know that's the right thing to do. But in my heart, I feel bad for him. I want him to come to the realization that he does have a sickness, that he does have a disorder. I've asked him to go to counseling, and he refuses to go. And I've given him an ultimatum. And, well, it's not an ultimatum. What you have to do with borderlines is you have to give them boundaries. And you give them clear, concise boundaries. And if they don't abide by the boundaries, then I have to stick to my guns. In other words, boundary 1, you cannot, in my house, be physically abusive to me. If you are, then you will have to leave my premises. Pretty clear, right? I said it. He doesn't leave. My courses tell me that I should call the authorities and have him removed, and I don't, because my son, unfortunately, has loves him or has accepted him, but my son just wants to have a 2-parent family so bad that he is willing to accept emotional abuse, physical abuse to his mother, and this toxic relationship, because he will sacrifice what he knows to be true in order just to have this person in our life. So what I'm doing is I'm working on trying to educate my son a little better, even though it's difficult because he has Asperger's and it's kind of one way for him. And I am going to do a series of these videos. Perhaps they are for me to heal. Perhaps someone will watch them and will help me find the answers, how to work through, survive. The truth of the matter is, unlike other people who are willing to stay and put up with this, I'm really not. So this is my first video in a series of surviving a relationship with a BPD, and I will come back with more. I know it's not very informative. It's more of like an introductory of what it feels like to be in a borderline personality narcissistic relationship. I haven't even touched the surface. I haven't gotten into the deep deepness of what it's like. I'm exhausted. I'm depressed. It's now affecting how I operate every day. I really just want to stay in bed. So I'm learning how to survive, and with the help of counseling and maybe the help of other people, other YouTubers out there, other people that are in borderline relationships, maybe we can shed some light and help each other. So I appreciate your time, and I look forward to sharing my experiences and maybe teaching some steps on how to survive and get through to the next day. Until then, thank you and have a great day.